right, ladies, so we're gonna come over and handle these training pistols. I'm going to be demonstrating the firearm shooting fundamentals today using the training pistol before we get to the real guns, okay? All right, so first, we're gonna talk about grip. Are both of you right-handed?
Yeah. Left-handed.
You're a lefty, okay? So for you, when I say dominant hand, I mean left hand. For you, I mean right hand. All right, so when you're gonna grab a firearm, you're making sure you're following the firearm safety rules, keeping that trigger finger indexed, making sure that you're pointing the firearm in a safe direction. Right now, down is my safe direction. And then on this side of the firearm, you'll see that I have my hand as high as possible on the back of the grip. My thumb is pressed forward, and those 3 fingers on my dominant hand are wrapped around the front of the grip, okay? So this is the step 1, right? Dominant hand first. Then your support hand, this is the glue that keeps it all together. So you're gonna bring those 4 fingers on your support hand around the front of the grip, bring your palms together, and allow your support thumb to rest forward and under your dominant thumb. Okay, so both thumbs are pointed forward, both palms are pressed in together. Okay, you're gonna do this in a second, but let me forewarn you that it feels weird. There's nothing natural about this grip. Naturally, with your support hand, you cross your thumb over the back. That feels comfortable, that feels natural. But the reason why this is wrong is because that slide comes back every time you shoot. So if your thumb is there, it's not if, it's a when. Your thumb's gonna get hit, that's called slide bite. So you wanna be safe and keep both thumbs on the same side of the firearm pointed forward. Okay, so I'm gonna hand you this training pistol. Let's pretend like it's real. Go ahead and index that trigger finger and keep it pointed down for a second. There you go. I'm gonna give you this training pistol. Go ahead and index that trigger finger. Slide your hand up as high as possible. Good, wrap those fingers around. All right, so since I'm in front of you, you have to find a safe direction that's not pointed at me. There you go. Slide your hand up as high as possible on the back of that grip. Awesome. Now you're gonna point your firearm a little bit over. There you go. And then get your support hand and put it on the firearm. Palms together, thumbs forward, and let your support thumb rest forward and under your dominant thumb. So wrap that finger around and then point those thumbs forward on that frame. There you go, and then squeeze your palms together. Same thing for you. Support thumb forward. There you go. Slide your hands as far forward as possible on that frame. That's gonna help you manage the recoil. You all know, you know the recoil is, right?
And this does, I mean, strangely enough for me, it does kind of feel more comfortable than what I normally do in the sense of like, I feel like I have it, like I have control.
Exactly, and that's the whole point. That recoil is the energy that you feel when the gun is fired. Okay. So that energy, you can't stop from happening. It's going to happen, but you can manage it. The goal when you're handling the firearm is to make sure that you're not allowing the firearm to go left and right as you're shooting or up and down. Right. So the goal is to keep the firearm in a generally straight direction as you're shooting. Okay. Make sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
Awesome. I'll take those training pistols from you ladies.
See how I handed it to
There you go, look, there you go, there you go. Safe direction always. The next part is aim, okay? Now this is the meat and potatoes. There's not a lot of room for forgiveness. Either you're aiming or you're not, right? Either you're hitting the target or you're not hitting the target, okay?
And you're shooting to kill.
Exactly, you're shooting to end the threat. Oh yeah. So on every firearm you have sights. Your front sight is that small singular notch towards the muzzle end of the firearm. And then your rear sight is the U-shaped notch back here, back towards the grip. The goal is to adjust the firearm in your hands to where the front sight rests in the center of the rear sights and flat across the top, okay? So you're looking through this U-shaped notch to see that front sight. Now, that front sight is gonna tell you the direction your bullet will travel. So if your front sight is dead in the center, you see how my slide is flat, where's my bullet going? It's going straight in front of me, right? So I'm gonna hand you that training pistol. All right, index, wrap your hand around, good. I'm gonna hand you this training pistol. Good, find a safe direction, get both hands on the firearm, palms together, thumbs forward. So bring it up eye level. Okay. So you should be looking through the rear sight, you see that, to the front sight. And then on the front sight, you see a target over there. Lean forward a little bit. Lean at the hips. What'd you say? Oh, there you go. Cover that target with the front sight. The same thing for you. So you can aim at this target over here. Cover that target with the front sight.
Got you.
Yes, so the entire time you're shooting, you have to be looking at these sights, because if you're not, then your shots, your shots are gonna go crazy, and you need them to be in the center. We're gonna go for that high center chest area. Okay. You want all your shots to fall on that circle.
You're like my black Laura Croft.
Last thing we're gonna cover really briefly is trigger press. So you don't wanna pull the trigger, you want to press it using the center of the pad of your fingertip, engaging that trigger by pressing it straight back without disturbing the sights. Okay, so your sights are already aligned. You aim before you press the trigger, right? Correct. So if they're aligned already, your goal is to press the trigger without moving them, keeping the firearm pointed in a straight direction. So you're gonna slowly press that trigger all the way back until the bang happens, all right? Instead of pulling or pushing, you want to keep those sights aligned. So that's what you're focusing on as you're pressing the trigger. You're looking at the sights. In the background, you will see the target. What a lot of newer shooters do is they focus on the target instead